of the United States of America was loved by the citizens of the country. They trusted him and would probably have asked him to lead the country for as long as he lived. Despite the admiration of his countrymen, he served 2 terms and decided it was time to give the honorable position up to another. George Washington's farewell address was an open letter of advice and warning given to the American people about their long-term safety and happiness upon his decision to step down. In the address, Washington wrote mainly about the preservation of the Union, the danger of political parties, religion and morality, and America's role in the world. The president had left a legacy of success and desired to leave sage words of advice to allow the country to continue to prosper long after he was gone. He spoke about patriotism and unity and what had brought Americans together to fight to have their own country. He had a vision for what America could become, and he wanted his final contribution to be one of hope, wisdom, and inspiration for the American people. George Washington's farewell address has long been recognized as a towering statement of American political purpose. In addition to all of the sound recommendations which he left concerning the future of the country, Washington set the 2-term precedent, which was followed by almost all presidents in his wake. Thanks to his farewell address and his legacy, President George Washington helped to make the United States of America what it is today. In the words of our great founding father, "Interwoven as is the love of liberty with every ligament of your hearts, no recommendation of mine is necessary to fortify or confirm the attachment." His work for the nation had come to a close. Maize, which is now most often called corn, is a human-cultivated product. Maize would not have survived in the world if it had not been protected by humans. Maize was first developed in central Mexico almost 7,000 years ago. It started from a wild grass called teosinte. Teosinte is a very small version of maize, and the kernels are not placed close together as on modern corn. The Indians in northern and southern America depended on this crop as a major source of their food. When Columbus discovered America, he also was credited with discovering maize. This is when maize was first exposed to European influence. Maize was the major crops that helped the settlers survive in the 1600s, although they didn't do a very good job of keeping it going. The Native Americans played a huge role in teaching the settlers how to keep their crops going. Without maize, who knows if they would have survived. Through growing maize, the settlers and Native Americans established a better relationship. The result of the Columbian Exchange was that with many Europeans moving to settle America, an abundance of diseases arrived. The Native Americans had no prior exposure to these diseases, which caused massive epidemics. The most lethal among these was smallpox. Smallpox wiped out tribes and massively devastated the Native American population. Tribes averaged 25 to 50% losses. Smallpox likely emerged around 10,000 BC. Throughout the 18th century, smallpox killed around 400,000 Europeans each year. It has been estimated that throughout the 20th century, smallpox was responsible for 300 to 500 million deaths. In 1796, Edward Jenner discovered that milkmaids who had cowpox rarely contracted smallpox. He conducted studies where he would inject patients with cowpox first and then smallpox. The patients in these exams did not contract smallpox. This led to the discovery and creation of the smallpox vaccination. Symptoms of smallpox included high fever, chills, headache, back pain, abdominal pain, and vomiting, among many others. Today, smallpox has been completely eradicated from our society.